Alright, kind of a response video to my Stickam session last night and a rosebush video, rosebush yushi. It's just funny. There's a video talking about how delicious life is, and how when you look at the world, it's people playing and people singing, and there's there's no problem as long as you don't walk into a nursing home, or as long as you don't walk into somebody's house and look at the horror. Yeah, I've just a silly video. I don't know. I'll have to come up with a new word for the phantasmagoricals, but it's kind of like this is like fanny pack philosophy. And we sort of had this conversation last night in Stickam. Is there any point in talking the truth to people if the truth isn't some happy thing? Because you can't sell a sad story to people. They want the happy ending. They want the hero gets the girl, happily ever after, la la la. They don't want, oh shit, crap happens, it's kind of a sucky, mediocre-y thing. They don't want that. So if you can't tell the story, happy, then there's no point in telling the story, because people won't buy the story. And who cares? I mean, the truth is the truth, and so I'm going to push the truth out of principle alone. And I would argue on top of that if people can't get it, if people can't buy it, then there's no sale. There's no other way to get there. I mean, the gray text idea that humans were going to evolve into it is just nonsense. Our cultures aren't going to evolve into it. We see what our cultures live on. They live on mortgaging the future. They live on lotteries. They live on market anarchy. They live on simplistic, idiotic solutions that usually are completely built upon satisfying the selfish animal. So I've said the term bacteria with brains. It's mine. I mean, there's some asshole making videos saying I don't have any original philosophy. Go ahead and find that somewhere else, asshole. Go ahead and find that description of what we are somewhere else, you dickhead. Yeah, and go find my solution videos. Go find out where somebody else is talking about getting rid of geographic-based democracy. Go find somebody else who brought up that idea first, fucker. But anyway, I mean, I'm not going to blow my own horn, but if somebody tells me I'm not original, fuck you, alright? I've spent my life thinking about this shit, alright? Some of these ideas are other people's. I didn't invent instant runoff voting. But a lot of this philosophy is something I've acquired, I've built through hard work. So fuck you if you're going to make some insinuation that I'm reading from some guidebook. I'm not the name dropper around here. I'm not the book dropper. Alright? So whatever. I don't even go into that shithead. We'll see him in court, so to speak. But anyway, back to this idea that what we are. So yeah, I say it's a good enough metaphor, bacteria with brains, and I pile on that the analogy, the metaphor, whatever, that we are heroin addicts. We are addicts. We are addicted to life. We are built to be addicted. You can't, make an argument, buttholes, that somehow that's not the design, that's not built into what has been created by natural selection, is animals who are addicted to doing what natural selection has found advantageous to the spreading of their DNA. That's the ball game, alright? That's the fucking heroin. And when somebody calls their heroin delicious, I mean, it's just such a philosophically weak argument. It's like talking about beauty. Like this comes out of philosophers' mouths too, this word beautiful. That is just subjective rubbish. I mean, people, you really do. There's a difference. There's a point where you're sitting and you're philosophizing. You're using your brain or your intellect. And there's a point where you're living your life. So yeah, I mean, I could put a girl in a bikini over here, and all of a sudden, I'm not going to be a philosopher anymore. All right? I'm going to be a subjective addict. And I'm going to indulge in the pleasure of it. Okay? The addiction that's been created in me, the desire. And I'm not going to be a philosopher. I'm not going to say that's philosophy, because it's not. Okay, it's subjective mush. It's bullshit. It's not intelligence. It's not science. These people have a great reverence for science, but then they'll strap on that fanny pack of bullshit, and the science can go to hell. No longer applies, okay? Because now we're talking about what I enjoy and how I'm going to be a positivist. I'm not going to be a truthist. I'm going to be an optimist. And it's just bullshit. It's blowing smoke. It's a lie. It's nonsense. Let's deal with the reality of our circumstance, and then we have some hope of managing our lives in some sort of rational manner. But if we can't recognize that we are just tools of tradition, tools of notions conditioned into our heads. I mean, last night I'm sitting here stuck in the same conversation where it seems there's only two things that exist in the universe when it comes to economics. There is communism run by tyrants, and there is market anarchy run by greedy assholes, or markets, free markets. And those are the only two choices the human race has, and it's just so idiotic. It's an insult to our intelligence that we can't imagine or do better. If you look at our fucking history, we've just done the same things over and over and over and over again. We change the color and we tweak it a little bit, but it's the same square fucking reel, because we apply no imagination, we apply no intelligence. We wallow in our addictions, we wallow in our traditions, and we just can't step beyond those notions. Our bigotries, our preferences, our prejudices, they become our philosophy. And it's like Matt, he's doing the same thing. He's just trying to find some sort of way to twist the reality into a prettier story. He's just dressing it up. He's putting a dress on reality, and makeup and a wig and some fake boobs. And it's desperate. It's desperate and silly, and don't call it science, don't call it philosophy, because it isn't either one of those things. It is storytelling. It's nursery school lies, and that's all it is. But whatever. I mean, if that's what people have to live on, yeah, I'm just going to call you all a bunch of dope fiends and say that you really can't. You're never going to be able to be. You're never going to maximize your existence here if that's the world you're going to wallow in. If you're just going to wallow and live for lies, you're not going anywhere. And it's just lies, not to recognize what we are. We're consuming animals, and we've been built by nature to desire. Okay, our intelligence doesn't create desire. It manipulates our desires at best. That's the best our intelligence can do, is it can have some influence and make our desires a little more elegant and sophisticated. But the desire itself, the word, the concept of it, is an aberration of. It's a maggot fart. Okay, it doesn't have anything. It doesn't have any. Integrity as a reality. It is a device. It is a construct to create a motivation in the organism to oblige it to do what the DNA is designed to do, which is create enough consumption to create some reproduction, to consume and reproduce. That's what we're built on. That's the design. And so I'm going to keep emphasizing these points, because it's important, I think, for people to get that. That's why there are addicts. They want, they desire, they need. And then let's look at the overall equation. How much time do I have? Because these phantasmagoricals keep wanting to pretty this life thing up. They keep wanting, oh, you don't see, any animals suffering when you go out into the park. Yeah, but most things do their suffering in private. Most things crawl off to do their suffering. But we know it's there. We know the calculation. I can make the calculation for this community right here. This state, let's say there's 180,000 deer. We kill 60,000 of them a year. Forever. So 1/3 of the population every year is killed, and they're killed either by getting hit by a car, which probably isn't too pleasant for most of them, because it doesn't kill an adult deer, it just breaks their leg and causes internal injuries that they die of later, or they're shot with a fucking arrow, which also doesn't kill them right away, and they can just spend the next 10 hours while their colon leaks out onto the ground. I mean, This is the reality. That's life. Okay, right this minute, there's people living horrible lives. They're spending, 8 years or 10 years of their life taking care of somebody who's dying or sick. 2 lives getting consumed by it. It's going on. It's a reality right out there right now. There's people being used up and consumed by horrible circumstances, and we know it exists. But yeah, certainly we can go outside and we can enjoy the butterfly. We can still look at the girl in the bikini and we can say, oh man, I am addicted to that baby, I want that. I'm going to wallow in that little bit of magic. But when we're philosophers, we know we can't be thinking about the girl in the bikini. Okay, the rules have to change when you're going to start having a conversation about reality and what we are and where we are. So fuck the nonsense. Don't give me the pretense you have even reverence for science when you will sit there and make a video about how delicious life is. I mean, what a pile of shit.